Enzyme coupled receptors are these seen in blue here. The transmembrane, so both sides of the membrane have an exposed bit of the receptor on, and these couple with an enzyme, as the name suggests, which is what makes them different from a G protein coupled receptor. They bind with G proteins, this binds with an enzyme, or a complex with one. The most important family of ECRs are those with a tyrosine kinase attached to it. These are called receptor tyrosine kinases, which can be shortened to RTKs. As I'm pretty sure I summarised in another video as well, kinases are responsible for actually adding a phosphate, which can lead to activation. So when these RTKs are activated by the enzyme binding, it then stimulates the addition of a phosphate via the kinase being stimulated, which then activates the receptor tyrosine kinase. Phosphorylated kinase tails that can then activate signalling complexes that result in downstream phosphorylation as well, and the process continues. But it's still very specific, as each kinase can only activate a certain molecule, and also it only happens intrinsically, so this phosphorylation of the tails only happens inside the cell. If we go on to RTKs a little bit more, these are very important in cancer cell signalling, but also in healthy cell signalling. So one of the main pathways seen with receptor tyrosine kinases involves a small molecule called RAS. RAS is a small GTP binding protein which is also bound to the plasma membrane. You can see it's sort of that grey coloured thing there. So to give a brief summary of this diagram, you can pause it to have a look at it in more detail, but I'm not going to talk in that much detail about it. Activated RTK can then, after activating certain adapter proteins, which then causes more events to occur, can then activate the RAS protein. But I'll give you a bit of more information about RAS. So this is a monomeric GTPase, and in humans it's encoded by 3 genes called HRAS, MRAS and KRAS. All of these 3 are encoding proto-oncogenes. So a proto-oncogene is a gene that's important for proper cell growth and division. If it mutates, it can contribute to cancer. As I mentioned earlier, the RTKs contribute to cancer. Normally we have these active control functions that are silenced, but when cell divisions accelerate and DNA repair sort of like neglected, it can lead to further cancer mutations occurring. And if mutated, a proto-oncogene is called an oncogene, which basically means a gene causing cancer. And actually 30% of all cancers is caused by a mutation in either HRAS, NRAS or KRAS. This is because the mutation means that it can't be switched off, so the downstream activity that this RAS sort of like proliferates and causes to happen just continues going on. So, as this video is getting a bit long, I'm going to talk about another type of enzyme coupled receptor in a separate video, as well as a bit more about RAS.